What's up, Jeffrey here from Faster Than Reloading, and today I'm going to give you 6 awesome tips for Destiny. Going to make your life much easier in Destiny 2. Whether you're a beginner, veteran, anything, this will help you tons. So starting off with the very simple one that I learned pretty recently. Essentially, when you're in the gear screen, when you hit the options button on DualShock 4, and then you hit the touchpad, you go instantly to the director. So where you could look at your pursuits, your destination map, your whole world map, your friends list. So that's just one button away from doing that, rather than holding down the touchpad to get the director. But now just put this information together. If you hit the option button and immediately before your gear screen comes up, before anything even changes, you hit the touchpad, it'll bring you instantly to the director. So as you're seeing in this gameplay that I guess I'll just loop because it's going long, I hit the touchpad, I hit the options button, sorry, and then touchpad. So it's options, touchpad to get to my director, and then I just mash L1 to get to my pursuits tab to look at my bounties way easier. This is going to be much faster than, if you're in a Crucible match and you have to hold down the touchpad to see what bounties you're working on. That, I think, at least takes 2 seconds to hold down a touchpad to pull up the director. So, number one, right off the bat, that's an easy one. Second tip is the top 5 exotic weapons to be going for. These guns really have nothing to do with RNG. I mean, kind of, they have stuff to do with RNG. They're not really RNG based, but there are specific ways to get them. Starting off with one, the Outbreak Perfected. This is, of course, a classic gun from Destiny 1. The Outbreak Prime has nanites, or nanites, whatever you want to call them. When you kill guys, they swarm, they kill other guys. Check out all the perks right here. But essentially, what you want to do for this one, it starts off with a fetch quest where you have to just, look around the Destiny world for certain items. There's a fallen transponder. You have to start it inside of a mission. Google all that. I'm not going to go through all the locations here in this video, but it ends off in a really cool mission called 0 Hour, which is some of the best content in Destiny in the past year. And you're going to want to see this mission for yourself. I would honestly suggest going into this mission blind and then looking up how to do it online, just for that, first time experience, cool vibe. But this is a great gun, and this is a really no RNG in this gun to earn this exotic gun. Next up, there is the Lord of Wolves. Now, Lord of Wolves is a little more RNG than most. However, it's a very easy gun to get. To get this one, you just got to do spider bounties. So you go to the spider on the Tangled Shore. He's that big, fat guy, Jabba the Hutt looking guy. You go to him, you pick up his bounties. I think the powerful one, the one that's worth the most ghost fragment shells, has a higher chance of giving you the Lord of Wolves. I don't know if that's true, but either way, I got mine within, I think my first 10 spider bounties. So just go get those most wanted kills, look at where those guys are located, and that should be easy peasy. That's a very cool gun that had a lot of controversy recently. They actually gave out an emblem because it was so OP for people who played with it in the Crucible. However, while it's less it's less powerful in PvP these days, it's still a very powerful, not a very powerful, but a very cool gun to use. A shotgun that shots in little bursts. Next up is Jotun. I don't know. Pronounce this however the fuck you want. I call it Jotun. I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced. This is a Wilden fusion rifle that, honestly, you don't understand the power of this gun until you actually get it in your hands. This one's a little annoying to get, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my attempts at it. Essentially, every week, I think you have, 2 chances to get it. You get it when you're forging a powerful weapon frame that you get from A to 1 in one of the Black Armory forges, specifically the Bergusia forge. I think I'm pronouncing that right. That sounds like the right Bersugia, who knows? But you do that forge, and this guy has tracking fusion rifle shots like slugs. Dude, this gun is great. I recommend going for this gun. If you're doing forges, remember, you could forge any of your weapon frames in the Bergusia forge. Even if it says go to the Izanami forge or something, go to Bersugia, you could do it. This forge is actually unlocked when you unlock the first forge, Volander Forge. This was the whole one that had the riddle, the Niobe Labs riddle that people weren't really able to figure out. But you could actually just go straight to this one on the ETZ. Just Google how to get to the Bergusia Forge. You literally just show up there and the doors open up. There's no quest for this one. Next up is the Bad Juju. So this is probably the newest exotic to come out. So therefore, the most talked about right now. It's kind of the hip gun on the block. Came out Season of Opulence. To get this one, you need 15 tributes. I'm pretty sure 15, but you need a couple tributes, and then you could start a mission. This is all in the Tribute Hall. That is in Nessus, the bottom left. Go to Nessus, go to the bottom left. You'll see Tribute Hall. Show up there, talk to the guy, pretty much do tributes. You do them by buying resources, buying the things. You spend resources, sorry. You could exchange resources at Spider. You could do bounties to get those resources at a lower cost. It's a really cool little reward loop that I enjoy. But if you're low in resources right now, just make sure you keep doing those bounties to get a more percentage off. So you do 1 bounty, you get 1% off. You do 10 bounties, that's 10% off how much resources you need to spend. It's you get the hang of it in a second. It's kind of confusing at first, but you know, if you have questions, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. Now, the oldest exotic on this list is the Sleeper Simulant. This is one of the granddaddies of Gambit. This was a fucking mess when Gambit showed up, because this gun, it's pretty much one-shots invaders. Still does. Tracking is a little less precise now, just, you know, have to balance that and you get less heavy ammo, but this is an easy gun to get pretty much once you beat the Warman campaign, which, I mean, if you did Forsaken, you most probably did the Warman missions as well, or if you're new to Destiny, then that's actually a lot of content to get through. But once you eventually do get to the Warman missions, once you finish that campaign, you'll get an Ikelos hand cannon from, wow, what's her name? Not Hawthorne, not 801, Bray? Anna Bray, wow, there you go, Destiny memory right there. You get the Ikelos hand cannon, you do some kills with it, you do mission, you then have to find 15 sleeper nodes. That's a little, you find the list online for override frequencies. It all makes sense once you're going through it, but this gun is very straightforward, no RNG involved. Moving on from exotics, I wanted to do a tip on best guns per type, but, you know, Misfit's the best auto rifle, Storm of the Ravens best grenade launcher. Like, I could have done all that, but honestly, when it comes down to it for Destiny, personally, I find, especially, you know, my 700,000th hour into this game,
welcome, guys.
Mix it up, play whatever you want, unless it really comes down to exotics or pinnacle weapons or certain specific play styles that you're trying to go for.
Thanks for shopping
honestly, just try it, whatever works. I always keep getting different guns in my inventory because I'm really always cycling out because I don't have an attachment towards a gun. So just a tip is, you know, just always try different guns. If you see, hey, I haven't taken this gun out of my inventory, I haven't vaulted this gun yet, it's just been kind of sitting there for a while. The Eternal FR4, all right, let me see what this gun's all about. Oh, actually, this gun's a pretty cool fusion rifle. You know, you get more used to the guns. I'm not the type to say, oh, this is the only gun you gotta use, this is the best gun of the game, like that type of stuff. Really experiment with the gun. So I guess call that a tip and a half. Next up, Bungie Rewards. This is a really cool thing that not a lot of people know. But I mean, if you know, you know, but if you don't know, then you're kind of missing out on free rewards. Last year or something, or a couple months ago, they gave out the whole Forsaken soundtrack for free, the Whisper of the Worm soundtrack when that came out. Right now, if you just own this annual pass, you get the annual pass soundtrack, which is all the new latest, the new score, the new tracks, revolving around annual pass content. But you also can get cool stuff like the Bad Juju replica. If you get the Bad Juju in the game, you could buy the Bad Juju. You can get seals. That's pretty much doing a bunch of doing a bunch of triumphs. Get you these seals that you could buy both in game and in real life. Just really cool stuff. All right, so now this is a little late in the video to bring up this one because this is really for true beginners. But I want to talk about heroic public event triggers. I'll leave a link to an image down below that really explains them all, but right now you can see me doing the Cabal one with you have to shoot out the vents within the little heat circle, the sphere thing. Very simple. All the things that are smoking right now, make sure you shoot those until they are smoking. There's about 3 on top, 3 on bottom, and then 1 down low. Learn these fucking triggers if you're a new person. If you're a real beginner, essentially what it is, when you join a public event, you could essentially amplify the rewards and change up the encounter by doing certain things within the environment. So you could just play it out like normal and get, you know, less rewards and have a simpler time. But if you want to get that heroic version of that public event, follow the rules in the description down below. Another quick tip to make precision shots way easier, or just critical shots or weak point shots. When you aim down the sight, every gun has a little red dot, usually white actually, so it's a red outline with a little white center, and it actually goes full red, or has a red dot within that small white dot, as you can see right here, when you're on the enemy's weak spot, the precision spot, a spot that would count as a precision kill. So if you're trying to get headshots on the type of scorn enemy and those aren't precision shots for some reason, make sure it's a red dot in the middle. There are some scorn enemies that you have to shoot their little lamp. That's a fun tip. Next up, the last tip. This, of course, should have been the first tip because this is the first thing I always do in every game session I've ever had with Destiny. I go to the tower, load the tower up, and do some bounty management. So this is the most management, or like, I don't know, it's like doing your fucking taxes essentially, but it's shit you gotta do when you're playing Destiny. Make sure you have your bounties open. Make sure if you have a certain bounty, like a Werner bounty that says, you know, do 10 daily bounties from Vanguard stuff. To get rid of that bounty, or to finish that bounty, make sure you're then picking up Vanguard bounties, doing those daily bounties. You get 5 bounties from every vendor a day. They reset at 1 o'clock. Some are weekly bounties, but those are laid out and split and shown. But essentially, make sure you're doing bounties, and make sure you're doing bounties that work towards other bounties. Don't, for instance, get a Black Armory bounty that says do 7 Black Armory daily bounties over the week and not have enough room to pick up Black Armory bounties, and, you know, just pick up every other type of bounty, but you don't even have Black Armory bounties, so you're working on these other bounties that don't work for a bounty that you're trying to go for. Make sure your bounty management is on point. Right now, we're in a really shitty situation in Destiny where I think the worst pursuit tab ever of all time is what we have. So it takes extremely long to load, and it's extremely hard to look at, and things are always moving around. They freaking put containers, which are essentially either synthesizers or the chalice, things that shouldn't be bounties, that don't go away, they'll just stay there forever. They're there. Kind of just ignore them, whatever. But there you have it. 5 exotic guns to go for, the pause trick, the bounty management, all a bunch of cool tips that any Destiny player, I think, would be remiss not to know, or, you know, just grateful to know this information now. You could find me, Mr. Brawl96, on Twitter. You could find us at FTR_pod on Twitter, and like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Love ya.